Can we have a race this time around?
All right, are we going to race then? But before you do, let me just do the introduction to this video. How's that?
Okay, cool.
All right, welcome everybody. This is a little look at the Cooler Master Summer 2021, what do you call it, Digital Expo. We thought it was quite cool. We wanted to show you some of the up-and-coming products and how Cooler Master actually showcased it in light of the fact that, they couldn't have any big events around the world. And I thought it was pretty cool. How's it, Len? Are you, what do you want to race?
Is that a question?
Okay, who's going to count to three?
Okay. One. On
two.
three, hey? 1, 2, 3.
I see. You got a head second start. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I had a head start, but I went behind you now, but I'll still catch you because my character's not as sexy as yours, but mine is faster.
Oh man.
What happened?
I do think they should have included melee weapons in this. It would have been funny. Enter a melee mode. So as you can see, guys, this is a pretty cool island. There was a few Easter eggs hidden around that you can go and discover in your own time, during the expo. But
here's a tent. I wonder if we can get into that tent. No.
Yeah, some cool things. But anyway, so this is the first island you can see. It's called the Chiller Island, and this is the flagship cooler that Cooler Master.
Can we go to the big one?
Launch.
Big
Let's
picture.
do it. I'm loading. Big picture stuff.
H6DT ARGP GB cooler. Yeah.
So this is what is this? A twin? Did they just stack two on each other, or?
Yeah. Two. One blowing another. Double fan blow. Really, really cool. I've got the previous generation of this. I don't have ARGB, but yeah, it's super nice. Obviously supports all the various CPU sockets available currently. Some of the older models as well.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Super
what
quiet.
What is the benefit of something like? Oh, is it something that just delivers a lot more power? I assume it delivers a lot more air through the fins, with a lot more. What do you call it? A lot more. The suction power of the fans must be quite a lot.
So what you want is something that's going to keep your CPU as cool as possible without it sounding like you have 500 helicopters outside your home or work.
Yeah, I've switched over to the, what do you call those passive radiators with the internal closed water cooling. And I do have one here that I actually want to go check out. There were two. Which one? I never remember which is which.
I think you need to go back to take
flux. What did you say?
Oh yeah, the flux. No, I'm saying to remember where everything was, we need to go back to take 402 of
the video, that we tried. Yeah. I think we just put it behind us right now. I think that the difference between these two, I think it's a three fan and a 2 fan setup, if I'm not mistaken. But this is really my thing. I've fallen in love with this closed radiator setups a while ago, and because they work really well for me, and I find that they keep the coolers, pretty well, pretty cold. And
it looks sexy, right?
I love it. I love that little logo / RGB on the cooler, the same as the one that I've got here in front of me. I love it. It's beautiful and it's functional. And I do have a soft spot for water cooling, not going to lie. But I don't want to go through the effort of a full water cooling system.
Did you ever do CPU lapping?
No.
Do you know what lapping is?
No.
Where you take your CPU. I don't know if CPU manufacturers want us to talk about this, but where you take your CPU and you take a very fine sandpaper, bit of water, and you basically sand down the top of the CPU so that there's a better throughput of cooling. Well, there's a better more effective cooling from your CPU to your CPU cooler. There's better contact. So you put
but that would, I can see people doing that, definitely going for every degree of temperature drop that they can get.
Yeah,
that's really not a mainstream thing, right? But that's again.
I did that. The first time I did that, I was.
And
I don't know. I just felt like it, and it was super cool. Anyways, that's when I was using water cooler. This is the last time I actually used water cooling.
Water cooling. So water cooling. I mean, doing water cooling, if you got the passion for it, is fantastic. It's just it's an expensive hobby, and it's you need to tinker a bit. And also, I remove so many things in my. I remove so many components in my machine when we review stuff. It's not really worth it to have that in as a permanent setup.
But the nice thing about that.
Should we go to the next island?
Yeah, that water cool option that you were talking about now, it just makes your motherboard look that much more open, right? Because it frees up this massive 120 by 120 mil space. So getting to your GPU and memory modules and whatnot is so much easier with a small water block or seal block on your CPU.
Yeah. All right, so this is the big chair in this little island. The big boy that I don't know if I will be able to afford. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the Motion 1 chair. And as you can see, it's got a very slick space age, dare I say, Space X design with those slick-looking bucket seats. But what you see underneath it is a D-box built into this chair. Now, for those of you that don't know, the D-box is actually like a subwoofer box that's been fitted into numerous things, but it's there to deliver a rumble and a kind of a bass to the audio that you've got. Len, would you be getting one of these?
Sure. I'll have to sell my Ferrari.
You got a Ferrari?
You know what? You know what? This is the first gaming chair that makes me think of a car. Really, it just got such a space age. Or I shouldn't say car. I should say a spaceship.
No, that's what I was saying. Space X. This seems like something that should be, in a spaceship somewhere.
It looks so refined. Those lines, those cut lines in there. It looks almost hard. You know what I mean? Like
I think it'll be a firm plastic or firm like a firm hard stiffness to it. I mean, obviously that's what you want. If I look at my seat that I'm using, it's also firm. You don't want something that's too soft.
I want to say.
I'm just wondering. We were just talking earlier about the power cord on this and how I wonder where it'll become. There's a little plug-looking thing at the back that I'm sure it hooks into.
Yeah. So there is a power cord that comes out the back. I'm not sure if it's movable. If you can customize it to go out the left or the right depending on your desk position. From what I understand, it's just out the back. Well, I shouldn't say just out the back, but from my understanding, it's out the back, and that's that. A little bit concerning for me, I guess, because I do tend to move around in my chair, more so in scary games where I throw my keyboard and mouse and go, hell no! But I'm sure Coolermaster have thought about that. And people
I would imagine that there would be a solution. I'm very curious to see what that would be. I would be disappointed if there isn't. But yeah, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It's definitely an interesting concept to have a powered chair. I mean, we've seen chairs with powered LED strips that you can buy additional add-on, but nothing to this level. I mean, this is obviously in a different class to that big chair that you just sit in and it kind of wraps around you. That's really
the one where the monitors come down.
Yeah, that's it. With 3 or 4 monitors in front of you. I think this is going to be kind of this is now becoming the pro class, the high-end seat. I don't know what the cost is. What do you reckon? I reckon it's probably going to be 999. 899, 999.
Yeah, like I can see 100,000 on this, but
no,
let's not make assumptions.
Do you think this is going to be 100,000 rand?
I mean,
I thought it was beginning as a 10 grand chair, but now I'm doubting myself. What does a D-box go for?
Well, I'm on a 10 grand chair. This is a 10 grand chair. So, and doesn't have motion.
No, I know you have expensive gaming
No, that's
chairs,
not what I'm trying to say, Regardt.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that I'm on a look. Yes, I'm on a.
No, I know you're sitting on a 10 grand chair. I was you actually putting it a bit because my chair isn't that expensive. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is like a 30 grand chair or something.
I think 100, but I don't know.
I think it's 100. Flip. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot.
That's insane. Because that massive that gaming chair that you sit into that wraps around you with the screens that come down. I mean, that's like a 200,000 rand. 300,000.
No, 250,000, and that was well before COVID, well before shipping.
Yeah, companies. But that's still that was a full machine. This is just a chair, so I don't think it'll be that much. But let's see. Okay, let's have a friendly bet and see who's closest.
Okay, let's do this public bet now. Public bet.
No, don't make any big public bets that you can't. Don't write any checks that you don't. What is it saying? Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. All right, let's have a look at the standing desk.
Oh, one thing that you mentioned a while ago when we first started speaking about that chair, just sorry, I know you want to talk about this desk, which I think is important to know.
You're breaking the flow, Len. Let's go. Do you want to talk about the chair again? But okay, let's do it.
No.
No, let me just reload it and then I can cut it in properly. Okay, go.
You know, one thing that you mentioned the other day when we were talking about this chair, Regardt, is whether it would have a battery option to it. And I find that fascinating. If there was a battery option, I doubt it, because I mean, batteries weigh and blah blah blah, and the risk of having a, I don't know, lithium battery underneath your bum.
Audio, the power that you require for audio. I mean, we're talking about watts, right? So it requires, you know, actual power, or a lot of, you know, power. It's not something that's like an LED strip that you can power with a battery. It's a different, it's a different set of power that you'd want, and I don't know if a battery would. But like with audio technology, with, you know, subwoofer technology really improving all the time, battery technology improving all the time, I agree. I don't think it's something we, you know.
No, I think it was a great point you made a while ago. So that's why I'm raising it, Regardt, because I respect your valid and awesome points.
You talk so much shit sometimes. Okay, so let's look at the raising standing desk, the GD160 ARGB. What is your thoughts on this? I like the idea of a standing desk, but because I've got a custom built desk here, I would need something that kind of fits into my lifestyle. I would be keen to get the rising legs, like a kit that you can like put any desk on or something. But I love the idea. I love the idea of a standing desk. I think there's a lot of value to it.
Apart from standing in front of my pinball machine and my arcade machine, I've never gamed. Gamed in front of on a PC. You know, standing. So I don't know.
I don't think it'll be odd. It might take you a little bit to get used to, but also depends on the game you play. I mean, I often, if I'm thinking the way that I sit by my desk when I play a mobile game, for example, you know, with the controller on the desk,
it's called a controller.
On the desk. No, I'm talking about an actual mobile device. Then
okay.
It's not all about it's not everything is about consoles and PCs. You know, I can see a lot of ways, even with a keyboard and mouse, it's you know, it could be comfortable if the thing goes high enough. I mean, if you're a tall person, the other question is,
I do love the look of this. I do love the look of this desk. It really is nice, and the fact that what's important to note is that this desk adjusts its height electronically. It's not something that it's not like a camping.
No, of course.
Or a camping desk.
We never really said that. We never insinuated that it would be a manual, lifty, desky movement.
I'm telling our audience.
Oh, thank you. So you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner there's a little control pad. You can press a few buttons and it goes up and down. I would assume, looking at the model number, 160, it might be a 1.6 meter desk.
It is a 1.6 meter desk, based on my calculations. I took a ruler to the screen.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Then. All right, let's move on.
1.6 is fine. 1.6 is cool. You know, think of a trestle table. So a standard trestle table is 1.8, and that normally fits 2 people. So if you go to a LAN, that 1.8 meter table has 2 people. So 1.6 for one person is plenty. Next island. Regardt is giving me that you're talking too much. Look.
Len, you always talk too much. Editing video with you is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
It's so much
What
fun.
Are we going to check out? I
wish I could sit next to you as you're editing this video.
Yeah, watch me swearing at you. All right, keyboard CK721. Now, this is a nice new trend that I'm seeing is these small keyboards. What do you call them? These micro keyboards, small keyboards without the big numpads or any big frills and wrist pads to worry about. I've got quite a cluttered desk with a lot of hardware on it. And for one of my machines, I've used one of these. I've used them for a long time, actually, and I absolutely love it. I think there's so much merit in it, especially if you're moving your keyboard around, which I do. It's great. Absolutely great. Have you used one of these, Len?
I haven't used the smaller one. I always had my numpad, on my keyboard. So I haven't tried this, but yeah, I'm undecided whether I don't think it would bother me if I have a keyboard without it.
It's not necessary for everybody. I know. Yeah.
I do like a smaller keyboard, but if you look at the side view of this particular keyboard, remember this is a mechanical keyboard. It's not a slim line, so it is the width of it, left to right, is small, but the height of it, I think you're still going to use a wrist pad, a wrist rest.
This is what I'm trying to say. They don't come with wrist pads, and even though they are a bit higher, they feel good. I mean, yes, you could probably argue that it would be nice to have a wrist pad with it, but I've not had the need, to be honest with you, because I don't see this in the same. I don't necessarily see this being used in the same way as a normal gaming, for a fully fledged gaming keyboard. This is to me like a portable solution, or if you have a cluttered desk, or like these. I mean, I'm sure people would love them and use them regardless, but I just see them as being used slightly differently, especially considering it's a wireless keyboard. So you've got Bluetooth, and then obviously their own USB wireless connector that you can use that comes with it.
And that volume button on the top right is super cool.
That is very cool. I do like that. I've not seen that on a keyboard of that size yet. But yeah, if you've always struggled with a cluttered desk, I would certainly urge you to check out one of these keyboards.
Where you want to go next?
Let's go.
You're the director.
The headphones aren't clickable. The chassis. Oh yeah, these are quite nice.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. Just my kind of color.
So flat colors that pop is definitely very popular these days, and the NR200P seems to be catering to that audience. It's a small form factor, or small. It's not a big form factor PC by any means, but certainly something for a gamer. Again, minimalistic design. And this is very popular, having a machine that's not a big motherboard. You don't necessarily need all the high-end hardware. This is a very nice way of housing your hardware, I would say. I'm a big fan of this teal or the purple.
One of my favorite gaming PCs going back many, many years ago was the old XPC Shuttle. And that was a small form factor. I remember I had the World Cyber Games
that was
edition.
Years and years and years ago.
Yeah, that was gorgeous.
And they had gaming. Those were full-on gaming rigs, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was the World Cyber Games one. So, yeah, it was really, really sick. I used that for many, many years. And this, in some way or another, just reminds me of that. Yes, it's just the size, but it's that initially grabs me. But this whole just sleek, minimalistic, yeah, it's sexy. I don't know what color I'd particularly go for. Me, I just like causing, or stirring stuff up emotionally within myself and with people around me. So I guess I'll probably go with the purple.
Len, you get so deep. All right, let's pick one of these other 4 chassis. I know it's quite difficult for both of us to have a look at them because sometimes it doesn't let us both click on the same thing. So the Master Box 500 is quite a slick, tall tower case. Quite like that design.
Yeah, the Master Box for me is also just one of those classic Cooler Master. Whenever I think of Cooler Master, I think of this just tank of a, not that, you have to have this monster, or that Cooler Master only do monster stuff. They don't, but just super, super, super sexy, just super striking. I love that smoky glass, tempered glass look. That black glass, just beautiful. Yeah, I'd always go for this size. I go for big pictures. I go for big chassis.
Alrighty then, let's move on very swiftly. All right, bottom left-hand corner. NR200P Max. I do like, it's also a small modular design, but what I like is how the graphics card flips out.
Yeah, or your water cooling. Do you think that's the graphic card, or is that the water cooling option? To me, it looks like the water cooling option.
Well, the water cooling option is built in, but the graphics card also folds out.
Oh, right.
Okay. So that you can get easy access to the motherboard and the components behind it. There's a quick look at the specifications. All right, let's go on to the next island. These will obviously be available, more information in the coming weeks and months. Do we know when everything is being launched, Len?
It's spread. It's not all at once. I think there's different timelines for them. We can certainly
we'll talk about it as they get launched in South Africa, of course. I mean, that is what we are here for. So let's go to the big power supply. I found this one pretty interesting.
You're also going for big pictures now, Regardt?
No, I just like the little LCD panel on this PSU, the XG Plus Platinum.
Have you ever had RGB? Sorry. Have you ever had a CP? Have you ever had blooper reel? Have you ever had a PSU with an LCD or some sort of mark on it?
No.
I've had RGB. I mean, we've all had RGB, I guess, an ARGB, but never some sort of display. It does look awesome. But would you look at it?
Doesn't matter. It's cool. It's RGB. Look, the way that my PC is orientated, I would certainly look at it. If I had, I've seen there is definitely a trend with new PC cases or some PC cases where they come with an LCD panel that provides, the data that normally is displayed in the software. And I kind of like that. Just a kind of on a glance, you don't have to go into the software to see all those, fan speeds and temperatures. I'm a big fan. I would pay a little extra for that.
Yeah, me too.
And obviously the modularity of this one, always a winner. So you can just put it in at the cables that you need. I think this is going to be interesting. I think this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Up to the 850 watt.
I mean, I'm probably more around the 750, 650.
Look, there's always a trick, right, with power supplies. I mean, I know things have become a lot more power efficient. I'm still rocking a 700 watt power supply, but I would, again, if it's a few hundred rand more, rather go for the higher, slightly higher one, just to ensure that you've got some future proofing. Because
and also the power supply provides what your PC needs, right?
Yeah, exactly. What else is on this little island? I do like this island. This is very futuristic looking.
Yeah, this is very, very sexy.
All right, another power supply. Let's quickly look at this one. We won't go through everything in detail. We're kind of just showing you what everything looks like and just some of the new power supplies. This is the XG Platinum. Slightly more standard looking modular power supply. Also going up to 850 watts.
Yeah. Can I ask you, your power supply, are you using a Cooler Master power supply or not?
No, I don't think so. Oh, actually, I am. It is a Cooler Master. The logo is hidden. I just see the 700 watts.
So I'm also using a Cooler Master power supply. We bought into the product nicely. And the reason for me asking that is, does your power supply have Bluetooth connectivity, and have you ever connected to your power supply?
No, I've never seen Bluetooth on a power supply.
Yeah, mine has.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Really interesting. All right, let's move on to the next island.
I feel like you're rushing me, Regardt.
Yeah, Len, we do not have much time, unfortunately. Otherwise, we don't want the viewers to sit through 7 hours of us looking at the product. The Orb X. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. This is Cooler Master's version of the cocoon or the shell or the egg that you sit into and you basically just get immersed in gaming. This is absolutely fantastic looking, way out of my budget. Would I want one? Yes. Would I buy one? Probably not. But man, these things are cool looking, hey?
I asked Cooler Master if one of these will eventually make it into the country, and apparently the answer is yes. So hopefully we are able to spit on each other soon at an event. Because my gosh, I'd love to get into one of these.
Yeah. Looks very nice. Looks like something that'll sit beautifully in the corner of a room. But again, yeah, this is a big investment and very niche. It's probably going to be a order in. So you're gonna
special order, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the nature of the South African market, compared to the rest of the world.
Very cool. All right, let's move on. So we come to the final island.
Technology is just great to see that kind of stuff, availability, of that kind of stuff.
So we come to the final island here with a couple of really cool, what do we call these? Experimental or really odd products. And the one I want to look at, that's my favorite.
Please tell me it's a skeleton.
The KFC console. What a wacky idea. It was supposed to be a joke when they first mocked this thing up, and then the internet loved it so much that they actually put it together, and now it's going to be a real product. Insane. I doubt it'll come to South Africa, but wow. Keep your chicken warm while you game. I like the concept.
It is cool. I remember the first time I had a little USB thing connected to my PC to warm my coffee up.
Yeah, this is next level.
But this is way more than that.
The only thing that irks me, though, is greasy things close to my beloved technology. They don't really work hand in hand for me. And if looking at this tray, this drawer, that's going to be a greasy mess after a few uses, I think. Have you ever used a deep fryer? Have you ever used one of these? You can go to Game and buy these 300 Rand deep fryers. They work well, but they're a small kind of desktop toaster size deep fryer. And after a few uses, those things get quite greasy, because of the grease spatter everywhere or the oil spatter. That's kind of the thing that I fear of getting with this.
One of these. But I think this is more like the air fryer thing.
Yeah, but you still have chicken that's going to give off. There's still going to be, fat and grease.
Oh, the smell.
You're not going to cook it in there. You're not necessarily. This is to heat it, right? It's not. It's a warmer. It isn't a cooker. But what I'm saying is there's still grease and fat that's I would want to not have on my.
I'd lick your fingers, Regardt. Just saying.
Len. That's another thing I'm going to have to cut now.
Listen, can you go to the next area? That's skeleton. So I know you're all about this. Well,
yeah.
I know you're all about the KFC, but I love weird
what do you call
and
it?
wacky.
C-Mod X.
Yeah, I'm all about weird and wacky chassis.
All right, let me play this video quickly. Yeah, look, that is certainly something that is way out there, but rightfully said, Len, that is pretty damn sexy.
Yeah, I just love technology. That's why we do what we do, right? To see epic stuff, and that to me, the KFC has got its place, but that chassis, my gosh.
I can't move around you. I wanted to go and see this.
Oh, sorry, I can't move. Let me just go out the way.
I mean, we can't go to this room and not go check out the egg.
Yeah.
This is what they used throughout the little thing. That's not really relevant now. What is this? Come on. Broken page. All right, I think let's round this up. Oh, we have to walk around here, that's why. And that about brings us to the end of the Cooler Master event. Now, usually this is where we would mingle with everybody, have a few drinks, shake a few hands. But unfortunately, in COVID times, not going to happen. But a very cool initiative from Cooler Master, the Summer Summit 2021. And thanks so much to them for letting us play around. It was very, very cool. And what a cool way of seeing an up-and-coming product. Certainly much better than some Zoom calls I have been a part of, to be honest with you. Len, any closing thoughts from you? I love the products. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I mean, as always, the proof is in the pudding. So we need to do some reviews to really see what they can do.
Yeah, I can't wait to feel that chair. That just if it's soft or not. My mind is going ballistic. Is it spongy? Is it plastic? Is it? So I'm keen on that. I'm really, really keen on that skeleton chassis. I know it's born from a mod and whatnot, but I'm all about funky stuff like that. But I love this whole island concept.
Oh yeah, it's great. Sorry to interrupt you there. There's a big movement in building PCs that is outside of the traditional case. I see a lot of artists or creative people building PCs under desk. I mean, Linus has got a couple of videos on that. Linus Tech Tips, well worth checking out and how they do it. But I know one or two people who've actually mounted their hardware on the wall as a showpiece with RGB around it. You, at some point, I remember, Len, had a PC case, a see-through case up in your entertainment area there. Is it still there?
Next to my pinball machine.
Yeah. That was just a PC for something you used. But I mean, I love the idea of just having it on the wall and that.
Yeah, the power supply was separate, and yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Just to play music. That's all it was.
I mean, that's what PCs are for.
But it's funky, right? Yeah.
So
I love this whole. Sorry.
No, you go. You love this whole.
I love this whole experience with Cooler Master. Kudos to them. Really, really awesome. I'm glad that we could experience this. Some awesome product. Remember that Cooler Master in this country have always had some sort of collaboration with local artists where they would have case modding competitions and these street artists really would come and spray paint a Cooler Master chassis. So they're always very much on that kind of vibe. And I guess that's why the skeleton chassis rings so true to me, because when I think of artists, I think of Cooler Master, and that's really cool, you know. But that's just me personally.
Well, there's nothing left for me to say. Thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we'll be back again with another video very soon. Cheers.